All right, the NBA is back. We had the Celtics Sixers on opening night, and I can't lie. The addition of Malcolm Brogdon is going to be huge for Boston this year. A 40, 50, 90 shooter who can get Marcus Smart off the ball and run some point guard. A big reason why the Celtics lost the finals last season is because Peyton Pritchard, Derek White, these guys played way too many minutes combined. Now you get a way better offensive player in the mix with Brogdon, and you get a new head coach who seems like he just wants to play up tempo. I'm not saying he's better than Udoka. Udoka was amazing last year. He could have won Coach of the Year, but this coach seems like he wants to play faster tempo for the offense. He wants to get in transition more. Maybe they were just doing that against the Celtics. Against the Sixers. That's why you don't really want to overreact to one game. The Sixers are a slow team, so maybe that's why he was pushing the pace. But every time they panned it to him during the timeouts, everything, he was just telling them, play fast, play fast. So if this team is playing in transition more, they do have the athletes to play up and down, and they don't necessarily have the guys with the ball handling skills in the half court to really just break you down consistently in the half court. That's why they struggled against Golden State last year. That's why at times when they weren't hitting the three ball, they were just pretty stagnant in the half court offense. So I think them playing with more pace, them having Brogdon is going to help a lot on the offensive end. And I think this bodes very well for Boston. I wouldn't be surprised to see them back in the finals. Speaking of the finals, Golden State looks like it's ready to run it back this season. And I got a serious question. Did the Warriors get better? Because it feels like they did. Clay is healthy, and the young guys are slowly coming into their own and can potentially be very valuable pieces for them down the line. I don't know if these guys are ready to make big impacts right now, but we can see the way that Wiseman's developing, the way that Moody's developing. Kuminga's still a little bit more of a project, but the way that these guys are coming into their own, they can fill out roles where they could play 10, 15, 20 minutes in a playoff game. And there's only two things that I can see getting in the Warriors' way. The first being Draymond, who we know got emotional and did damage to his own team. Nothing new here. Nothing new. Typical Draymond. And I do think that punch costed not only Draymond, but Golden State as well. Feels like they had to give Poole a few extra dollars for that punch. We all saw Iggy on the bench suggesting that Draymond was on LeBron's nuts. Just seems like the whole organization is cool off of him. I totally understand. Because Draymond is such a wild card, I would just keep your eyes out on that as a potential roadblock for the Dubs this year. Everything on the court, on paper, looks good for Golden State getting back to the finals, but Draymond and it's just the Draymond factor. Truthfully, it's just the Draymond factor. It's the health factor. But there is one other thing, and I'm talking about those guys in LA, and it's not the Lakers because we know the Lakers suck. We could do all the finger pointing as to whose fault it is. I personally blame LeBron because every team he goes to, he uses up all their resources to help him win. And then when it starts to get bad, he bails on the team. And now he wants the Lakers to trade valuable picks away for role players like Buddy Hield to help him become what? An eighth seed? Let's be generous. It'll help him become a sixth seed. And that doesn't improve the Lakers' chances of contending at all. And the Lakers are a franchise that they don't really care if LeBron gets them to the sixth or fifth seed if they're just going to get bounced out in the playoffs anyway. To them, it's like, dude, we're wasting picks. We're not going to do all this just to get in the playoffs. But anyway, I don't really care to get into all that right now. Getting back to the point, the guys in LA that the Warriors should be worried about are the Clippers. The Clippers are a real threat to Golden State. We know that styles make fights, and the Clippers match up incredibly well with Golden State, and they have the personalities to handle Golden State. You got to have a certain personality to play against Golden State. When Golden State makes 4 straight three-pointers on you in a row, it gets demoralizing. But guys like Kawhi Leonard, John Wall, I've always loved John Wall. He's a dog on both ends of the court. And guys like Reggie Jackson, these are the type of guys that just brush it off and they come right back. These are guys who are mentally tough. They also have the best coach to go against the Warriors with Ty Lue. We know Ty Lue is a guy who's beaten the Warriors before. And we've seen Ty Lue get more out of Paul George and mentally fractured players. Like, we've seen him get more out of guys like that. We've seen him turn a J.R. Smith around and turn him into a winning type of guy. We've seen Ty Lue do these things. Doc Rivers is not able to do these things. Doc Rivers was not able to do that with Paul George, but Ty Lue has done that with Paul George. Ty Lue was able to beat the Jazz when Kawhi Leonard went out using Paul George. Ty Lue was able to use Paul George and push the Suns all the way to a Game 6, and where the Suns really just had an amazing Chris Paul performance that bailed them out. But my point is, Ty Lue is the type of guy who you want facing against Golden State when Golden State is going on these runs. I really think the Warriors Clippers series could be a 7-gamer. It has all the makings for a tough series. If they face each other, I don't see how it doesn't go 7 games. And the Clippers match up really well, but until we see them healthy and putting it all together and everything just flowing and gelling, I'm going to lean Golden State because they are the proven commodity. But I'm just putting it out there that if the Clippers do get on Golden State and if they do play each other and the Clippers win that series in 7, it wouldn't shock me at all. Like, I would not be shocked at all if the Clippers win the West this year. Other things to note, the Sixers have a really good roster on their hands. Daryl Morey did a real good job bringing in guys like Melton and Tucker. Harden looks great early on, but Joel Embiid, man, it used to be a conversation for who was the best player between Jokic and Joel, who was the best center in the NBA, but it's starting to become clear as day, and I think I know why. It's because Jokic has that feel. Jokic looks like he's been playing basketball longer. I don't know how long he's been playing basketball. I'm pretty sure I heard that Embiid got into basketball late. But Jokic can have his back to the basket, and as the pass is coming to him in the post, he knows where the cutter is or if the double team is coming. He has those anticipation skills. He has that feel. And that's why he is an all-time great point center. Joel Embiid doesn't have that, but he wants to hang out on the perimeter like Jokic. So you get a lot of possessions where the double comes and he acts like he's surprised that it's there. It's like, dude, you're Joel Embiid. You don't think that the other team's going to send a double team? So he gets the ball and he struggles to find the open guy, like that play when he tried to swing it to Maxey late against the Bucks. He doesn't know, like, oh, I should swing it to this guy or I should swing it there so that guy can swing it over there. He tries to make these crazy cross-court passes. He's doing unnecessary things because he doesn't feel comfortable as a playmaker. A lot of times he just doesn't have that feel, and it gets him caught up in tough spots where he ends up shooting these MJ, Kobe, KD shots, and you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. Those shots where it's just like, hey, I'm in the mid-range and I'm going to rise over 2 people. Like, I'm just going to rise over them like they're a chair. And the difference between Embiid and those guys is Embiid's a legit big man. He's a legit center. He's bailing the defense out when he does that. When MJ was doing that, MJ was still making the shot. When KD does that, he's still one of the most efficient perimeter scorers of all time. But when Embiid does that, he's bailing the defense out. It's just a bailout. He just doesn't get in the low post enough for me. And there's just a lot missing there that stops him from being an all-time dominant paint presence. There's just a lot of things that stop him from being that dominant paint presence on a consistent basis, because we do see it. I got to give him credit. He has a lot of nights. He has more nights where he looks good than he looks bad. But there's just some things that he's missing in his game, a couple things in his repertoire, kind of like the small details that stop him from being as good as a Nikola Jokic. Because right now, Nikola Jokic is definitely better than Joel Embiid. And closing out, I got one last point. The young guys in this league are so fun to watch. They are so fun to watch. I've never been more excited to watch 20-win teams play. I've never been more excited to watch 30-win teams play. Like, I'm genuinely having a great time watching Orlando basketball, watching Houston basketball, watching OKC basketball, Detroit basketball. Like, there's just a lot of really young, special players right now. The league is in good hands. It's just going to be so fun to watch these guys develop. I got to see Jabari Smith play. We hit with the Rockets cover and with the Rockets under on Wednesday night, so it was cool getting to see him play. It's cool getting to see Jalen Green work. Cade Cunningham in Detroit. The Pelicans with Zion Williamson. Man, there's just so many great young players in this league right now. Paolo Banchero for Orlando just looked amazing in his debut. He looked like he was ready. Jaden Ivey, the list just goes on and on. There's so many great players. NBA basketball, I'm just so happy that it's back. But I'm going to wrap this up now. I have free picks on my Twitter and Instagram every day. I'm handicapping the NBA and the NFL. Make sure to follow and turn those notifications on. We're off to a great start in the NBA, and there are money picks for tonight's games as well. Link to those pages will be in my bio. Make sure you tap in with those. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate all the support. Until next time, peace.